was August 9th, 1976. Sumter County, South Carolina. A quiet rural area. Fields of cotton and tobacco stretch for miles. A hunter is walking through the woods near the Locklear community, searching for game. He sees something unusual. Two bodies, lying close together in the underbrush. A young man and a young woman. They have been dead for days, possibly weeks. They are holding hands. There is no identification on them. No wallets. No purses. No jewelry with names. Just two people together in death. And for more than 40 years, no one knew who they were. This is the story of the Sumter County Does. Two unidentified people found in the woods of South Carolina in 1976. For decades, they were known only as John Doe and Jane Doe. Their identities were a mystery. Their deaths were unexplained. Were they murdered? Did they die by suicide? Was it an accident? No one knew. But in 2021, advances in DNA technology finally gave them names. James Paul Freund and Pamela Buckley. Two young people from different states, who somehow ended up together in the woods, dead. And still, the questions remain. How did they die? Why were they there? And will we ever know the full story? The bodies were discovered on August 9th, 1976, in a wooded area off South Carolina Highway 15, near the small community of Locklear. The hunter who found them immediately called the police. Officers arrived. The scene was examined. The young man and woman were lying close together. They appeared to have been dead for at least a week, possibly longer. Decomposition had begun. The summer heat had accelerated it, but their bodies were still recognizable. The young man was estimated to be between 17 and 22 years old. He was white, approximately 6 feet tall, with brown hair. He weighed around 165 pounds. He was wearing blue jeans, a white shirt, and brown shoes. The young woman was estimated to be between 18 and 25 years old. She was white, approximately 5 feet 4 inches tall, with reddish-brown hair. She weighed around 120 pounds. She was wearing a checkered shirt, blue jeans, and brown sandals. Both were dressed casually, as if they had been traveling or camping. An autopsy was performed. The cause of death could not be definitively determined. There were no obvious signs of trauma, no gunshot wounds, no stab wounds, no signs of strangulation. Toxicology tests were conducted, but the results were inconclusive. The bodies had decomposed too much. Whatever killed them left no clear evidence. Investigators theorized. Poisoning, drug overdose, carbon monoxide, heat stroke, suicide pact, murder. Nothing could be ruled out. Nothing could be confirmed. Personal effects were examined. The young man had a small amount of cash in his pocket, less than $10. He had no wallet, no identification. The young woman had no purse, no ID, no money. They had nothing that could identify them. No labels on their clothing had been removed, but the brands were common, sold nationwide. Nothing traceable. Police searched the area. They found no vehicle, no campsite, no signs of a struggle, no belongings beyond what the couple was wearing. It was as if they had appeared in the woods, died, and left no trace of where they came from or how they got there. The case went public. Photographs of the couple, post-mortem sketches, were released. Missing persons reports were checked. Across South Carolina, across the country. But no one came forward. No one recognized them. No family reported them missing. It seemed impossible. Two young people, dead, and no one was looking for them. Years passed. The bodies were buried in Sumter County in unmarked graves. The case went cold. Files were stored. Evidence was cataloged. But no new leads emerged. The Sumter County Does became a footnote, an unsolved mystery, a tragic case that faded from public memory. In the 1990s, the case was re-examined. Advances in forensic science offered hope. DNA was extracted from the remains. Profiles were created, but there was no match in any database. The Does remained unidentified. Facial reconstructions were created by forensic artists. Clay models, sketches, digital renderings. Images were distributed, shared online, posted on missing persons' websites. But still, no one came forward. In the 2000s, the case gained attention from amateur sleuths, people who dedicated their time to solving cold cases. They scoured missing persons databases. They compared the does to unsolved disappearances. They posted theories online. Some believed the couple was from the Midwest. Others believed they were from the Northeast. Some thought they were runaways. Others thought they were hitchhikers. But no theory could be proven. In 2015, a new effort was made. The DNA Doe Project, a nonprofit organization that uses genetic genealogy to identify unidentified remains, took on the case. They extracted DNA from the doe's remains. They uploaded the profiles to genealogy databases. They began building family trees, tracing relatives, identifying possible matches. It was slow work, painstaking, but it was progress. In 2021, breakthroughs were made. The male doe was identified first. His name was James Paul Freund, known as Jock. He was 18 years old when he died. He was from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He had left home in late 1975. He had not been reported missing by his family. They had assumed he was traveling, living his own life. They did not know he was dead. They had spent decades wondering where he was, and now they had an answer. But it was not the answer they had hoped for. The female doe was identified shortly after. Her name was Pamela Buckley. She was 24 years old when she died. She was from Colorado Springs, Colorado. She had also left home in 1975. She, too, had not been reported missing. Her family believed she was living elsewhere, working, starting a new life. They did not know she was dead. They had spent decades without answers. And now they had a name, a grave, a tragedy. But the identification raised more questions. How did Jock Freund from Pennsylvania and Pamela Buckley from Colorado end up together in the woods of South Carolina? How did they meet? Were they traveling together? Were they a couple? Friends? Strangers who met on the road? And how did they die? Investigators searched for connections. Jock had left home to travel. He had told his family he was going to see the country. He had a history of hitchhiking. Pamela had also left Colorado. She had told friends she was going to travel. She had a free spirit, a desire to explore. Did they meet on the road? Did they fall in love? Did they plan to travel together? Or was it something else? The families were contacted. They were devastated, relieved to have answers, but heartbroken. Jock's family had assumed he was alive somewhere, living his own life. Pamela's family had hoped she would one day come home. Instead, they learned she had been dead for more than 40 years, buried in an unmarked grave, unidentified, forgotten. The question of how they died remains unanswered. The autopsy in 1976 was inconclusive. Decades later, the remains had degraded further. New testing was impossible. The cause of death will likely never be known with certainty, but theories persist. Some believe it was a suicide pact, that Jock and Pamela, young in love, facing difficulties, chose to end their lives together. The fact that they were found holding hands supports this. The lack of trauma supports this. But there's no suicide note, no evidence of planning, just two people dead in the woods. Others believe it was an accidental overdose, that they took drugs, something they thought was safe, and it killed them. Poisoning, an overdose, something that left no visible marks. But toxicology in 1976 was limited, and by the time the bodies were found, any drugs in their system would have degraded. The theory cannot be proven. Still others believe it was foul play, that they were murdered, that someone gave them something, or left them in the woods to die. But there is no evidence of this. No signs of struggle, no suspects, no motive, just speculation. The location is puzzling. Why were they in Sumter County, South Carolina? It is not a major city, not a tourist destination, not on a main highway. It is rural, isolated. How did they get there? Did they have a car? If so, where is it? Did someone drive them there? Did they hitchhike? And if they died accidentally, why were they so deep in the woods? Why not near a road, a campsite, town? The families have searched for answers. They have reviewed old letters, old photographs, looking for clues. Jock's family found references to traveling, to meeting people on the road, but no mention of Pamela. Pamela's family found similar references, but no mention of Jock. If they were together, they kept it private. Or perhaps they had only just met. Perhaps their time together was brief. A few days, a few weeks, and then tragedy. The case has brought some closure. Jock and Pamela now have names. Their families know where they are. They can visit their graves. They can mourn. But the full story remains unknown. The mystery of their deaths, the circumstances that brought them together, the final moments of their lives, all of this is lost, buried with them. Jock and Pamela are remembered now, not as does, but as people. James Paul Freund, a young man from Pennsylvania, searching for adventure. Pamela Buckley, a free spirit from Colorado, seeking a new life. They found each other, somehow, in the vast expanse of America in the 1970s. Two strangers from opposite sides of the country who ended up together in the woods of South Carolina, holding hands. Their graves have been updated. Headstones now bear their names. Flowers are left. Family visits. Strangers visit. People who followed the case, who hoped for identification, who celebrated when the names were found, and who mourned the lives lost, the years wasted, the families who waited. The story of the Sumter County does not end here, because the full story has never been told. The mystery of their deaths remains. The details of their journey remain unknown, but their names have been found. Their families have answers, even if not all of them. And Jock and Pamela, after more than 40 years of anonymity, are remembered. The woods where they were found are still there. Quiet, remote, unchanged. The spot is unmarked, but it is known. Locals remember, investigators remember, and the question remains: what happened in those woods in 1976? Why did two young people die? And will we ever truly know? The silence is heavy, the mystery lingers, and Jock and Pamela, together in death as they may have been in life, rest. No longer unknown, but still in so many ways a mystery.